All right, I'd like to welcome everyone in the building. And do we have people online today? No people online. All right, well, welcome everyone to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Del Norte Solid Waste Management Authority. I'm Jason Greeno, I'm the Vice Chair, and I'll be stepping in for Chair Short today. At this time, please call the roll.
Commissioner Inscore?
Here.
Commissioner Starkey?
Here.
Commissioner Tompkins?
Here.
Acting Chair Greeno?
I am here. At this time, let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag of our great nation. Ready and begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, we will open up public comment. This will be general public comment. Any member of the public may address the Solid Waste Management Authority on any matter on or off the agenda. Each speaker will be allowed 3 minutes to make their comments. Is there any public comment at this time? Okay, seeing no public comment, we'll move on to our open session items. We have our consent agenda, which we have 3 items on here. We have approved the minutes for the regular session, Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. Approve a payment of claim number 9441 in the amount of $7,500.48 to...
Reread that.
Huh?
That amount is $7,000.
$7,005. Yes, my apologies. $7,005.48 to excavate and reroute water line under the administrative offices at the Del Norte County Transfer Station, and we have approved the budget transfer in the amount of $11,043.0.
I will move to approve.
Second.
All right. We have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on those items? Okay, seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to the board for a vote.
Commissioner Inscore?
Yes.
Commissioner Tompkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Starkey?
Yes.
Chair Greeno?
Yes, thank you. All right, we'll move on to our director's report.
Thank you, Vice Chair Greeno. Our last month continued to go well. We are continuing to accept holiday trees through the end of the month for no charge at Del Norte County Transfer Station. And if you're a Recology Del Norte customer, you can call them at 707-464-4181 to have that collected from your house. So that's a service that is a partnership between us and Hambro and Recology. You've already approved the repair to the water line and the payments associated with that, so glad that those repairs went well. Thank you for that. Our battery backup system has now also been repaired, and I'd like to let the board know that we are currently recruiting for a vacant refuse site attendant position, and that recruitment should go through the 25th of January. So if anyone watching online thinks they might want to work with the authority, that application is available through the county personnel office. Attached to the director's report is an update from Cal Recycle regarding some of the information about how they're going to be overseeing and monitoring the SB 1383 requirements, and just more or less an update. Because Cal Recycle, there have been a number of questions about how strongly Cal Recycle will be enforcing on SB 1383, and this is kind of their first indication. And at this point, it looks like they're really going to be focusing on the basics of the requirements, whether or not you've adopted program implementation and the enacting ordinances, which we've already done, and we've done the capacity planning as well. So I think we're in okay shape considering, but of course there's work to be done on that. Moving on to the financial reports, you'll see in item 2.2 the treasurer and controller reports, and you'll see that we have $1.865 million in the bank plus last month's rent of $198,000. Looking at our AR aging summary, you'll see no accounts are exceeding 90 days, and there's just one account that's over 60 days, so we're working on that one. And again, thank you to Kathy Brewer for keeping up to date on our accounts. Looking to claims approved by director, once again, you'll see the three largest expenditures of the month being payment to Hambro WSG for the good services they provide operating the Del Norte County Transfer Station, a payment to the Del Norte County Auditor for the interfund cost plan paying for our personnel services and IT services, for instance, recording and broadcasting this meeting. And then our third largest expense was to pay the auditor for our debit and credit card charges, because those continue to be an important service that our customers value, but we do pay a little bit extra for each one of those charges. Continuing on the financials, our monthly cash and charge reports indicated that December ended up being a pretty decent month. We typically see the winter months as being the slowest at the Del Norte County Transfer Station, but compared to last year, for instance, at the Del Norte County Transfer Station, we brought in $24,000 above the prior year. All in all, our income lines are coming in ahead of budget, so at this point in the time, halfway through the fiscal year, we're $132,599 ahead of budget on our income lines. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, are there any questions from the commission?
Director Ward, if we could go back really quickly to the attached letter from Cal Recycle.
Yes, sir.
In the final paragraph, there's a statement made that I'm hoping I'm interpreting correctly, and that is when it states about halfway through that last paragraph, talking about working with local jurisdictions in establishing a circular economy for organics. I'm hoping that is Cal Recycle's acknowledgement that that's not necessarily an easy thing to be done, and that in a rural community, if in fact there is no circular economy for organics, that maybe some of these regulations that are part of SB 1383 should not be applied if that phrase alone just stood out to me as at least an opening salvo, or one that I'm certainly going to champion, that says, if this is not feasible, then why are we being forced to try to implement something that is not economically even possible? Which I think when you talk about the economy of scale in a rural community, not just ours, but others, it's not going to be. I'm assuming that's what a circular economy implies, is that there is a sense of enough profitability to make it possible within a specific jurisdiction. So I was just wondering your thoughts about that, and if you would concur that that is at least something for us to take note of for future discussions with Cal Recycle.
Thank you for those comments. My intent, based on our conversations to date about SB 1383, is that I'll be working with the Environmental Services Joint Powers Authority of the rural counties to look at ways that we could make SB 1383 be as practical as possible for rural communities like ours, because I definitely concur that some of the current timelines and expectations far exceed our capacities and raise a number of questions about whether or not those are in line with our community's priorities.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate your work there, and certainly has been very good for our authority. I would encourage you to grab this sentence and share that with that group, since this is Cal Recycle's words, not ours.
Right.
And if they're going to claim to be proud to work with local jurisdictions, proud to work with local jurisdictions for a circular economy, and we have the evidence to show that that's not feasible, then they need to take ownership over their words. So that it just really hit me because of the frustration that I think that all of us in rural counties face with these mandates that are being put down, especially unfunded mandates. So that's it. I'll get off my soapbox, but their words, not mine. So
I will say I think that that's a great point, and I agree entirely. There's a lot of issues on the state level, unfortunately, with unfunded mandates and, putting making smaller communities put a shoe on that's way bigger than will fit our foot. And that just, it's not realistic. And I hope that the state will see that for those specific issues and make some changes. I'll let Director Ward get back to his report.
Okay.
Continue.
No worries. But core to the whole circular economy mode, though, is recognizing that central to a circular economy is separating organic and technical or recyclable materials. And so it doesn't really take very long shopping through a grocery aisle to recognize all the different ways that paper and plastics are blended together. And part of the core of a circular economy is having those materials easily separated. So we have a long way to go.
As long as I don't have to go back to the days to go out with Jeremy and be the garbage czar and look at just how hard it is to effectively separate. And I certainly appreciate Recology's hard work on all that, because it has not been easy, so.
Nice segue.
All right. Moving on in our discussion, we don't have any landfill post-closure items, no transfer station items, but we do have a collections franchise item, discussion and possible action regarding promotion of John Perry to General Manager and recognition of Jeremy Herber's years of service for Recology Del Mar. And I want to just start by thanking Jeremy for all of his hard work over the years. You have always been a great partner with our commission and with our community.
I appreciate that. If you don't know me, which you already should, Jeremy with Recology. It's been a pleasure the last 9 years, not only working with this board, Ted Ward, and of course the Solid Waste Management Authority themselves. It's been an amazing community to be in. I've been blessed to be able to come here and do my part for the last 9 years. Time has come for me to move on, and so I can't thank everybody enough. We've had some challenges, but we've always been able to work through them, and it's always been to the best of the ability to support the community that we serve here, and we look forward to doing that for many more years. It's been a great community, and it's been my pleasure to do my part, like I said, to continue those great services that we try to provide, and we always have room for improvement, and we're always looking for those. So I want to say thank you for the many years of working with a lot of people. But the good thing is that we have a great candidate to replace me. John's been working with me for about the last 3 years. He's been with the business for close to 14, 15 years. He's been a great guy to work with. He's been my supervisor for the last 3 years, and he definitely has worked his tail off to get where he is today. He's got a lot of passion for this community. He's got a lot of passion for Recology, and I have no doubt in my mind that he will continue to push forward and do great things here. And so with that, thank you for everything. I appreciate it, and I'll have John come up here and say his hellos. Hopefully he doesn't talk too long. I doubt it, but we'll see. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
I know, replay.
It's just one time. That was a good one. Thank you, Jeremy. As Jeremy said, he kind of gave you my history there with the company, and been in the community since 2019 of October. Been challenged with a lot of projects here in this community, and I know that's going to continue. And I really appreciate everything Jeremy's done for me and for this community. He's been a great leader for us, and, I just hope that I can do, the job that he's done and continue moving us forward. So just short and sweet, I thank you, and I look forward to working with everybody, and appreciate it. Thank you.
So Jeremy, are you leaving the community, or are you just leaving the job?
Well, like I
That's up to you.
Nobody listening, I don't think, so we'll get up here anyway. So my wife and my daughter still are, they're living in Brookings. I was supposed to retire in April, but I was asked by our corporate offices to help out with another challenging business that we operate down in Mariposa County. So I've agreed to stay on through the end of this year for now to help that business that has been, they have a community out there that has been struggling. And so it's not a bad day when you got to work up at Yosemite National Park 2 or 3 days a week. It's tough work, but somebody's got to do it. But that's where I've been asked to go just to help out the business. Business has been really good to us as employees. They've been a good company to work for. And when they asked me to, I was hoping to pack my bags and get on the road, but for now, I'm going to help out down there because they've done a lot for me, and I just need to return that favor, so.
Because you've been great not only as a Recology, but you've been a good community member for
Yeah, I
us too.
appreciate that.
You've been, you attend the chamber events, and you've
Yeah.
always just been such a team player in all of it. So, you know, while it's sad that you are leaving Recology, I'm hoping not to lose you in our community as well.
No, I'm still going to be around. Unfortunately, my schedule right now is I work 3 weeks down in Mariposa, and I'm only back here for a month. So it's kind of stinks a little bit with that schedule, but it's the best schedule. We like the area around here. However, I did sell my home, and we're living in a fifth wheel right now. We were going to go ahead and travel, but you know, the economy's not great to be traveling right now with the cost of diesel and $10 for a pack of eggs. So right now, I just, you know, it was kind of, it's good for me to kind of keep getting a little bit of an income coming in until I'm really ready. And also, I thought it was, there's another community out there that's struggling. And so I'm going to try to put some passion and effort down there to see if we can't make another, you know, make a run at making Yosemite area, you know, keep it beautiful. That's our plan. So, but I appreciate the kind words. It's been an honor to work with all you guys. It really has, and I've learned a lot. And I was hoping to be retiring like a shed, but you know, hey, you know what? I like what I do. I like the people. I like being a support system for those who are in need. It's something I enjoy doing. So, but I'll be around. You'll see me once in a while. Hopefully, I'll be around long enough to see Blake cut his hair, but I don't think so. I think he's been working on that for a while. Okay, all right. He's looking good, though.
Jeremy, just on a personal level, thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for how hard you've worked, and on behalf of the authority, and as being, you know, I came onto this board following a period of time when there was a lot of turmoil, and I think Director Ward can acknowledge that. Anybody that's been in this community acknowledges that. But from the time that I got here, I have always felt like we have worked really hard between the authority, staff, and our franchise partners to try to figure out how do we do what's right, how do we try to do what's fair, and how do we try to make sure that we serve our community the best. And while we have not always agreed, and you know, you and I have not always agreed, we've hammered those things out ultimately to try to do what we think is best for our community. And on both sides, we had to learn to give.
Right.
And I really appreciate that, because I know that was a lot of work for a lot of people. And I appreciate the fact that you were willing to do that, and that you put up with elected officials sometimes that were not always even in sync with one another.
Yeah,
right?
well, that's...
But we got through that, and we did something. We have created a foundation here for John and for others to be able to build off of, but that doesn't happen without hard work of people willing to set aside some of the personal stuff for the good of the whole. And you know, we've talked so many times, but I think we've done that, and I'm
Yeah.
just really proud of that. But that doesn't happen without.
Yeah, we
without
should be
someone like
really
you.
proud of that. I mean, it hasn't been an easy road. A lot of people don't really understand the depth we have to go into to do what's right for the community, and also for us to still be able to continually function as a business, which is sometimes difficult to do in California. We've got a lot of laws and rules that don't always work for where we live, but those are the situations we have to address and take them one by one and do what's right by the community and do what's best for the community. And it's been a blessing, like I said, to work with all of you It really has been. It's some good, the good and bad times.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Take care. I'll be
thanks.
back to see you. I might pop in once in a while just to check.
You
to
know
see
how
if
to find me.
Just to see if you cut your hair or not.
Yeah,
I'll be watching.
Maybe. You know,
Maybe. I might be surprised.
You know,
All right.
you know.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And John, thank you so much for joining our chamber board. So we roped John into running for the chamber board, and he got elected to the chamber board, so he has to show up at stuff. Jeremy showed up because he found there was free food. John's going to show up.
And do some work. Well, congratulations to John,
Yeah.
and thank you so much, Jeremy, for your years of service.
Absolutely.
And I'll just say a couple quick sentences. I really appreciate both Jeremy and John, and they have a real practical, reality-based way of trying to approach our community and the problems that sometimes we face. But noteworthy, and both of them, is that as needs arise, they have both driven trucks on a regular basis. You do not see that with all general managers for solid waste agencies. So I really appreciate the heart and effort and skin they put in the game, and I believe our services reflect that.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on, we have a General Solid Waste Authority matter, which is the discussion and possible action regarding the authority ethics policy and Form 700 financial disclosures required by the California Fair Political Practices Act.
So this is just an annual reminder. Form 700 is the standard financial disclosure form that elected officials are required to put in. And so this is the annual reminder that we need that from our legal counsel, from our treasurer, which I just received, from myself, and from Commissioner Tompkins, as well as the two city councilmen. Our policy specifically excludes supervisors, but they already have to report through the Board of Supervisors. But because this is a joint powers authority and it covers the entire county, that's what our legal counsel, who wasn't able to be here today, informed me that that's what we need. So it's kind of an annual reminder. And also we do have an ethics policy, and it's, if you have not already read and signed that, if you could sign the back page and give that to me, I'd appreciate it. So those are just sort of taking care of business, regular things. We do have an ethics policy that we follow, and we do annual financial disclosures. So,
Director Ward, if you could, and I guess I could reach out to Bob as well. Because I file my Form 700 has already been filed electronically.
yeah.
And because I file it electronically, I cannot go back in and edit and it won't let me put other boards and commissions on it. If you could find out from him, if you want just another copy filed with you that specifically lists, because I am having the same issue with the Border Coast Regional Airport Authority. The online portal would not let me edit it and place them as an additional board or commission. So I have a printed copy for them that I'm going to give them that they can send in. I'm assuming that will be sufficient, or anyway.
I'll get clarity from our legal counsel, and
Okay.
I'll send
'Cause
that
I'd be
along
happy
in an
to
email.
do that. I just could not figure out how to do it.
I'll
Online
email
portal.
to all of you, so you
Okay.
know.
And here's
Okay.
Oh, thank you, sir. Okay, good.
All right. Is there any further discussion on that item? Okay. Moving on, we are moving on to 7.1, discussion and possible action regarding the release of a request for proposals for towing and related services.
I somewhat expected Dominic to be here, but I'll step in. Essentially, the current towing company was concerned that the price structure does not work for them, in that mini motorhomes and hitch-mounted trailers were paid for at the same rate as automobiles. And so the company basically said, we think those should be paid for at the same rate as RVs and buses. And so that's what this is about. Essentially, the current contractor did not honor that contract. They're backing out, so we have to release the request for proposals to get prices from other contractors. Kira, you had a question?
Sir, do we have to adjourn this meeting and then remeet? Sorry about that.
That's right. My apologies. We'll adjourn as the Solid Waste Management Authority and reconvene as the Del Norte Abandoned Vehicle Abatement Agency.
Thank you for that, Kira.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Okay, so
I'm sorry. So under Exhibit C, as far as the initial mailing list, are these the only companies in Del Norte County that have the capacity to meet this service?
that is correct, sir.
And I believe that when we did this previously, we discovered that we could not put this out across state lines, if I'm,
That's correct.
because of the way the funding comes in?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
So this has been reviewed by both Dominic and our legal counsel and is ready for publishing, unless the board has any changes.
I don't have
I don't have
anything,
any changes.
and it doesn't look like the board does either. I guess at this time, we'll open up public comment. Is there any, there's no public, but we still have to do that. And I forgot to do public comment on Jeremy Herber's, the discussion on the Fair Political Practices Act and 700 form. And so there's nobody here, but I wanted to make sure I covered all the bases. We'll bring it back to the board since there is no public comment, unless there's someone online. Is there anyone online?
There's no one online.
Okay, excellent. We'll bring it back for either discussion or a vote. Is there any more discussion? All right.
I would make a motion then, Chair, that we authorize staff to put out the RFP for towing, storage, and recovery of disposal of abandoned vehicles.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Clerk, please vote. Hold the vote.
Commissioner Inscore?
Yes.
Commissioner Tompkins?
Yes.
Commissioner Starkey?
Yes.
Acting Chair Greeno?
Yes, thank you. With that, we've come to the end of our meeting. It is 4:28. Wow, that was a good meeting. We will adjourn this meeting until the next regularly scheduled, actually, we need to adjourn as the solid waste, the Del Norte Abandoned Vehicle Abatement Authority, and come back to reconvene as the Del Norte Solid Waste Management Authority so that we can adjourn as the Del Norte Solid Waste Management Authority till our regularly scheduled meeting on the 21st of February at 4 o'clock.